Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Would you look at this 1976 Raleigh Chopper SE. If you live in the UK, you know what a Raleigh Chopper is, but I bet you ain't seen one of these before. They only made 750 of these. So what are we doing with this? We're going to strip it down to the bare frame. We've got a new set of stickers for it. We have some new tyres, brake cables, a few bits and pieces around this shifter, looking a bit tired. Customers asked for it to be refreshed to look pretty much as good as she remembers it as a child. So that's the brief on this one. Wheels and the frame will be left as they are. They'll obviously be cleaned best we can, but it's actually in really good condition. There's no major corrosion on it. And with a set of new stickers, I think it's going to look very, very good anyway. I've been very much looking forward to doing this one, and I hope I can do it justice. So, any more talking? Let's get stuck into this. Start at the front and we'll go strip down. Dead easy. Well, not quite as straightforward as a normal bike, but pretty straightforward. So these wheels are mag wheels. These are made specifically by Sturmey Archer for the Chopper SE. So you won't see these anywhere else. So we're not painting the wheels or the frames, as I say, they're going to be left as they are. Potentially these wheels would definitely benefit from a refurbishment, but I'd need to speak to the customer about a separate cost going forward on that. Potentially that might be done at a later date. We have new brake cables with the genuine sort of ribbed type for extra braking. So we have those to go on. They are genuine sort of Raleigh replacements. Anything I've bought for this, like tyres, etc., I've bought as genuine as possible. A lot of them are reproductions, obviously, but they are designed for the Chopper. So that's that. Nothing's a normal size. These are normally 10. It's a 12 on this. So they have these little retaining bars on here. We've got new rubber pieces for this as well. So you need to take this off before you can get the brake off. So these sort of calipers normally are so flexible, but every time you brake, they're basically going forward and backwards. So the idea of these clamps is basically to stop the brake pulling forward and to look cool as well. These bits here have replacements for this as well. Brake should come off with the mudguard. So the corrosion on these brakes and things like that, we'll try and get rid of this with steel wool, WD-40 and maybe some evaporust. Get these as good as we can. It's not going to be perfect, it's going to be sort of 90% we think. To retain this little clip, this is genuine. So these bars are in really good condition as well, so I'm not going to get these grips off because I don't want to risk damaging them, adding to the already quite high expense. Any spares that you buy that say Raleigh Chopper are twice the price of anything else, even though they're normally just pretty much standard bike parts. But hey, that's what you get. I'll disconnect the back brake and then we can get this cable off as well, and then we can get the bar headset forks out. So this back brake is currently doing absolutely nothing pretty much when you pull the lever. It's some kind of internal hub brake, so we'll have a look at that, see if we can improve it, but it's currently doing absolutely nothing. Alright, so I do need to disconnect this entire piece here, not just unhook this because we've got to pull the whole cable through. Undo that, it just pinches that cable through there basically. That's out. This cable can come through. Use all these, look at these, quality that is. Yeah, see its cable's perishing here. Like so. Stem can come out now. Hopefully this is not seized up. Should be okay. Bit of a tap on the bolt. Right, so it's moving, but it gets stuck on this headset nut, so of course you're not even a standard size. Right. I've got every spanner in the workshop out so far. Well, this Dynamo's staying. It's not standard, but the customer wants it to be retained. Preferably working, which would be interesting. I'm not an electrician. Well, that's long, isn't it? It wasn't stuck on there, it just didn't want to come off. Well, we've got loose ball bearings in here, and they're already going everywhere. The magnet will catch most of them. We'll replace these, obviously. The lower race is going to be loose as well, probably. Actually, really good condition though, look. Take this off now. One fork. I think I'll leave the races in the frame. There's no real benefit to taking those out on this one, so we'll leave them where they are. Well, I'll leave that dynamo there and we'll disconnect at the back end and we can remove that. So this dynamo is currently set up incorrectly anyway. The actual unit is rubbing on the rim, so it all needs to come off and disconnect these cables from the bottom of it here. God, this takes me back. It's been many, many years since I've done that. I just push that pin up and they just disconnect from there. God, that's been at least 30 years since I've had to do one of them. Alright, it's off. So this bracket here needs to come off before we can get the wheel out as well. Right, this should just bend out of the way slightly, like that. That's disconnected now. Next up, we'll get this chain guard out of the way. So I don't want to damage that. It's in not bad condition. course there's a nut on the back of it. Why'd you do that? Never heard of captive nuts back then by the looks of it. I mean, I've worked on older bikes than this, as you've seen, but to be fair, they were better put together than some of these ideas. Yeah. I'll just disconnect this gear cable now. So if you leave this threaded nut where it is, and hopefully unscrew this piece, then in theory when you put it back on, the gears might work. But they're pretty easy to set anyway, so if it doesn't, then it's not the end of the world. That's it. I was ready to try and find one of these in this translucent, but I couldn't find one anywhere, unfortunately. I could find black, but I couldn't find this one. So I'm going to have to reuse this, and if anybody knows where there is any, let us know, we can quickly change it over. So just slacken this wheel off now, hopefully. And then we can drop the chain off and get the wheel out. Right, so that will move forward now. You have enough slack just to pull this chain off. Get the wheel. I've got a spare chain actually for this, so we might end up changing that. Changing? See what I did there? Just drop that off the chain ring there. Right, now this wheel will come out. Here. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh my god. That's going to be half the weight of the bike, that is. Jeez. Alright, see if we've got a link of some sort on this. I'll say I've got a new chain anyway, so a Raleigh chain. Alright, let's just split this chain. We're using the Junior tool because it doesn't fit in the part tool. I'm going to leave that pin in just in case on chain. So I'll get this mud guard off next. There's one screw here and there's two at the top. Pretty sure these are not JIS. Coming out though. There's no rust on it. Like I say, it does look tatty, but I think they've been spraying like oil over it over the years just to stop major corrosion, and it's worked. Oh, this is just oil, so this will come off. So it's going to be pretty easy to take the Sissy bars off now to get access to these screws, so we'll take all this off. Next, I kind of need to get the mud guard off so I can clamp onto here before I can take the saddle off, so I'm just going to persevere with these two screws that are down here first. I'll just spun it around so I can see what I'm doing, because I've got these stupid flat nuts on it again. Should come off now. Which it does. So I think while it's upside down I can get this shifter mechanism off, and that'll release that Dynamo cable as well. There's your Dynamo off. I've got some rebuild parts for this shifter, even though it is actually working. We'll just refresh it. This should just come off now. Which it does. It's a shifter mechanism. So we've got new lens for this, new sticker, some rebuild parts for the inside as well. That's all coming off. This will just come down to here and slide off. Now this will just come straight off with this cable. There you go. I'm going to get these cranks off now. These are on cotter pins with special Raleigh nuts on there, so I don't really want to damage those. So hopefully they're not too tight like the rest of the bike. Normally you would then hit the end of this with a mallet just to loosen the cotter pin, but I really don't want to damage this nut. So I'm just going to take these pedals off while I still can. Just fell off. Literally the weight of the spanners just took that off. So hopefully this will come out. This is a brass mallet here. So the one tool in the world that I don't own is a cotter pin press. So I'm not going to go out and rush out and buy one just for this one cotter pin. So I'll persevere. We'll come back to that and get this off instead. So I need to clamp it on the frame here. We are replacing this sticker as well, so don't worry about that. This is all in really, really good condition as well, luckily. So we'll take this off and the whole thing should just come off as one piece. These basically slide up and down inside these tubes. So it's literally just lifts straight off now. Then all these are going to fall off because they just basically sit on these cups on the frame, so they'll probably fall off. Like that. Like that, like that, like that. Which is off. Beautiful. So just remove this now and that should all come off as one piece. So it should just lift off now. Might be a bit tight, but there you go. That's the rack off. Seat clamp. So the only thing left to come off now are these cranks. These are short, aren't they? Right, there she is. And a bigger hammer. Always the answer. Just punch that through the bottom now. We'll obviously take this bottom bracket out and re-grease it as well while it's out. So the cotter pin's not playing ball, so I'm going to have to get some new ones anyway. But we'll reuse the nuts obviously. Let's just whip this off. It wasn't very tight either. What was that? Loose bearings as well, thank you very much. So the longer piece is obviously the drive side. Drive side, let's presume this is a left-hand thread, same as any other bottom bracket. This could be interesting. Yeah, good luck with that. I think this might stay because this is the only tool I've got that's going to work on there and it's not interested, so it could be impossible. Let's give it a little bit of a tap, see if it'll free up. It doesn't need to come out, so I'm not going to get too carried away. Right, that's not going to come out without damaging something, so I'm leaving that in because, like I said, this is the only tool you can get for this, really, is that. And the engagement is pretty poor. It doesn't need to come out, I can clean it in situ well enough. So that's staying in, I think. Let's presuming that's a left-hand thread. It must be. Every other bottom bracket in the world is, except for Italian, obviously. Give it a few more taps. No, it's just going to keep slipping off, so I'm leaving that where it is. I know everyone's going to be saying clamp it in the vise and turn the whole frame, but it's less than a millimetre, literally a millimetre here. To clamp that successfully in a vise is nigh on impossible. I'm going to give it a go there for you because I know everyone's going to say that's what you do. 1.5 millimetre. It's less than 1.5 millimetres to grab onto on a vise. So I think the chances of getting that without damaging it, slipping it, scratching the frame, 0. I'm going to give this one go. If it doesn't come out, I'm leaving it because, like I say, that's what's going to happen. It's just going to slip and knacker the frame. Not happening, guys. It's staying in. I'm going to clean it in situ, put some fresh grease in. So that's basically it down to the frame. Like I say, I'm not going to take that out. It's just not worth the risk. The rest of us will obviously clean up. Apart from that, that's pretty much the bare frame. It is the bare frame. Again, I've left the headset cups in. There's no real value to taking those out. So with everything removed, I'm just going to go through a few bits first. So neither of these bulbs seem to be working after I've got some new bulbs on order. Hopefully that resolves that. So the cotter pins didn't survive the surgery, but the nuts did. That's the important bit. So I've got some new ones on the way. I've actually run out currently, so I've got some new ones coming. A couple of replacement parts for the shifter here, some new lens and some new orange bits to get rid of this piece of orange paper that was in there. Front and back tyres, they are Raleigh. I don't know if these are the original era or the reproductions from Raleigh, but they're exactly the same as what was on there. New rib cables and a new chain. We have these beauties. These are fantastic. So that's the long sticker for the rear mudguard. That's for the frame. This is for the shifter. Look at this. Put a link below where I got these from, but they're not cheap, but they're fantastic quality. And this is obviously for the SE. So for example, this mudguard piece here, this is the replacement arrow for that. So I think in reality, once these are polished up with new stickers, cleaned up, refitted, it's going to look pretty damn good. It'll take your eye away from the patina on the frame and the wheels. Like I say, we may revisit that at some point in the future. Certainly not in this video. It's a video in itself. But we'll put it back together with these. These stickers are fantastic. There's one there for the back of the seat as well. So this plate will come off and we'll get this corrosion off. Put that fresh sticker on. The reflector's in very good shape. I'm just hoping I can stick them on straight, and it's not my finest skill. We'll use some tape and line them all up and see how we get on. So on the shifter we have this replacement lens. We have the replacement orange bar that goes underneath it. And this sticker, I think you'll agree, is going to make it look fantastic. It's a really nice quality sticker. Pretty much exactly the same, so that's going to tidy that up no end. Internally we've got some bits and pieces just to refresh this mechanism, although like I say, it's actually working really well, so I might not even do that. A lot of these have failed completely, but this works perfectly, so we'll strip it down and have a quick look anyway while we're in there. This video will take me several days to do, so in the meantime I'm going to put any corroded parts that will fit into this and just soak them in evaporous. Right, I'm going to take this brake apart. I'm not a big fan of taking these apart. It's got to be done, unfortunately. This is the longest bolt in the world. It's got to come out of there now. Right, so I'll put this in, and just this light surface corrosion will be gone the next time you see it. There's hardly anything on this piece anyway, but we'll chuck it in. Just this little clamp on the back for the brake. All these little bits will clean up beautifully. Everything's going in. There is a little bit of corrosion on here, so I'm just going to strip some bits off here so that can go in there at the same time. This piece here should just unscrew, like so. Right, so that's the plastic cover that will be refurbished with that sticker and plate. So I've got a new pin for this, so we need to get this off. I'm not even sure that is corrosion. It's the tiniest amount. Let's get it off anyway, because I've got this kit. You need to get this spring washer off. And this piece here is where that orange thing sticks on. Shows you what gear you're in. Choice of 3. Ooh. Don't try and save this washer. It's not savable. They don't make it easy to change a gear cable, do they? This case of pushing these plates here, you push them out from the bottom. There's ball bearings, so if you lose them, there's new ones in the kit anyway. These just push through there, and that lifts up. They're a bit fiddly, these are. So you almost certainly lose the ball bearing, but it doesn't matter. There it is there, just got a new one. So this one should come out a lot easier now because we're not overcoming the spring pressure of that one. Like that. Just disconnect that cable out of there, and this should just pull through now. Cable's a nightmare to get in. And then we just need to get this pin out. Actually, you can just go in like that with a bit of plastic, it's fine. Well, there's a lot of little bits already. I need to get another box. Chicken black bean sauce, favourite. So I dug out my old bench polisher for this one. I think we're going to need it. This thing does an awesome job, honestly. Put some nice polishes for it. They will come up like new. Right, I'm just going to get this plate off the back of this first. Take that off. Take these off. Take that out. So the actual seat, saddle, whatever you want to call it, is in really, really good condition. I should just pop it out now. Like that. That original plastic. Amazing. Right, let's come out. There you go. Bit of persuasion. Right, that is off. I'll take this reflector off because I'm not doing anything with that. Take the sticker off, and this plate can be soaked as well. That's off. Sissy bars are in fantastic condition as well. Chroming's really good on these, so they will just be polished. So it's actually in pretty good condition, but these black dots here are corrosion. So I'll put it in anyway and give it a soak. Like I say, we've got a new sticker anyway, so this has all got to come off. It's just flaking off in tiny little chunks. Wow. Right, so I'm just going to have a quick go with this, basically. Clean that off, peel the stickers off, give it a polish on the polisher, put new stickers on. Sticker-wise, the new one is pretty much exactly the same length. You can't really go wrong. And again, on the front, you can't really go wrong. Can only go one place, so it's not like the ones on the frame where I've got to mask it off and get it in exactly the right place. These are just going to stick on. So let's give it a quick soak. I think there's a little bit of corrosion in here. We'll try some steel wool on here. I don't have a bin big enough to soak that in. Luckily, I've got a drop of WD-40 and I've got some wire wool, so all I'm going to do is put some on there. Get cracking with that. Right, for a bit that's never going to get seen, I think that is pretty good. It's almost got a shine on it. Right, let's get these stickers off. This could be interesting. Genuine part tool. Okay, goodbye. Ancient sticker. It's not coming off quite so nicely. So clearly this would work better if it was bolted to the bench, but I have plans for that later on, not today. But it's actually pretty smooth as it is. It's not going anywhere. It's a nice bit of kit this is. So let's just get some polish on here and give it a buff up. And just polish it off. It'll polish the remains of this sticker off as well. Come on, lovely this one. Not too bad at all actually. We'll just get a new sticker on there, that stripe first. Attempt to get it stuck on straight. I'm not very good at this, I'll warn you now. Well, definitely not far off. That one's on. I'd love to be a sign writer and be able to do this blindfolded, but I'm not. Looks pretty good there. Right, there's the first one done. A few fingerprints left that'll polish off when it's back on, but it actually looks pretty good, doesn't it? Happy with that? Good. Right, I'll just give this fork a quick clean. Again, all we're doing on this is degreasing really. And literally just a bit of mitre in there and a little bit of welding. Look at it, it's so cheaply made. Gee. Anyway, they made a fair few of them, that's for sure. I'll say this SE one was made to commemorate 750,000 choppers sold in the UK only, I believe. That was the idea of it. And then, what I'm told, is they didn't sell enough of the SEs, and then it happened to run into the Queen's Jubilee in 77, hence the confusion. They then got listed as Jubilee models, is the belief. So if anyone can confirm or deny that. Customer calls this a Jubilee edition, so that's what we're going to go with on this one. But it's basically exactly the same bike, SE Jubilee. Exactly the same thing, I believe. I could be wrong, but it kind of makes sense that they would do that if they've not sold them all. And then an excuse came up to sell silver things. That's what they did, but they're all gone anyway, long gone. That's as good as that's getting, guys. Definitely patina. Structurally, she's perfectly good. Right, I'm going to look at this wheel, just get these bits off basically to clean it. All you need to do on this Sturmy Archer one is take the nuts. Well, you don't even need to take this off to be fair, but I'll take it off anyway. We're just going to get the sprocket off and this spoke protector. And then on the other side I'll take the brake off and see if we can find out why it's doing nothing at all. It's probably contaminated or maybe just needs adjustment, but it's not doing anything currently. A little spring clip down here, just pop off, like that. And this should just pull off. There's a washer spacer on top of there. Remember which way it came off because these are shaped as well. So it came off that way. And there should just pull off. There's another little spacer on there as well. I can stay with that, and that's what I wanted to do. And then I can clean inside there and give this a good clean as well. And I'm going to get this brake off. There's a big spring here. Take that off. 2 nuts, a little lock nut on there. Like that. It's basically a drum brake, the same as your car, sort of parking brake, handbrake. Yeah, but it's doing nothing. It may just need cable adjustment. We've got a new brake cable as well, but we'll have a look what's inside anyway. This should just lift off. Like that. And there's the brake shoes. So when you pull the cable, all it does is expand these shoes against the inside of the wheel here. So this needs to be clean. Obviously we can scuff this up with some sandpaper as well. That's in pretty good condition though. So these pads look a bit slimy. They feel a bit soft really, but potentially contaminated with oil over the years. So I'm going to see if I can buy these. But I have my doubts, so we might be trying to just clean these up a bit. I don't even know how to get them off. Yeah, let me see what I can find online, because there's so many different types of Sturmy Archer. Normally it's listed on the inside of the hub what model it is, but on this one, because it's a unique wheel just to this bike, it doesn't even tell you what model internals they've used, so it's a bit more challenging, and there's pretty much nothing online to tell you either. I mean, there's plenty of casting marks and whatnot on here, but there's nothing actually written on the hub to tell you which model it is. It's not normally an AB or an SB or an AEW or something like that, but it doesn't tell you on there. So I'm going to do a bit of research, see if I can find any brake shoes for this, and in the meantime I'll give this a good soaking with Zep, give it a good clean up, and then we'll put those bits back together. We're not going into the internals of the 3-speed, it's actually working very, very nicely. I can do another video of that at some point, but there's plenty of stuff out there on, like so RJ, he's done a very, very good video on how to disassemble them, and if you need to do it then you've got to be pretty committed. But RJ's done a fantastic video. I might do one one day, but there's very little demand for it nowadays, unfortunately. So, right, let's see what I can find. So I've had a quick look, and those brake shoes appear to not exist. Basically, a lot of the shoes come as part of the back, as part of the rear plate sort of thing that comes with them, and then you don't just get the shoes themselves. And being a 750 limited edition mag wheel, and of unknown model, there doesn't appear to be one out there anywhere. There's loads of shoes, but they're all different. None of them look like these, and most of them come with a back plate, which I'll say is completely different to this painted mag wheel back plate as well. So I don't think that exists, which is a bit crazy. Unobtainium, so we're going to have to try and decontaminate those somehow. And when the customer brought it in, she was pretty clear that the bike's almost certainly never going to do more than 50 yards down the road once every couple of years, so we're not entering the Tour de France on it. So if we can't get it 100% perfect braking, then it's not going to be the end of the world, because realistically I don't think she's ever going to use it. It's just purely sentimental reason than to look at. Not the easiest wheel to clean, that's for sure. Oh my god. So potentially if you're going to go to town on this and give it a massive full refurb, then you would paint these wheels and paint the frame and fork obviously, but that's a big expense, isn't it? Anything that involves paint is expensive. Once you do it yourself, obviously, if you're any good at that, then fair play to you, but it's my nemesis, unfortunately. There's a number here, S3B, potentially that's the hub type. There's a 7, so I'm guessing that's 77. I thought they were all made in 76 though, but actually no, I don't think they were. They were made over the space of a year, but crossing the 2 years. Well, I think SB3 is the hub, so I'll go and double check on that. Put a new tyre on it and clean the rest of it up, and should look pretty good actually. Give this a soak and the sprocket as well. And then he ran out. I'm not actually using Zep at the moment, I'm using this one that I was given 5 bottles of this, so same stuff basically, I think. A very strong degreaser. Look at a mess here. Yeah, might need a bit of work as well. I don't think they could have made this wheel any more awkward to clean if they tried. Looks not bad. Oh, is this aluminium? Yeah. This is absolutely caked. Oh my god. Wow. There's nearly 50 years worth of crud on this, I think. I'm going to put these bits in the Ultrasonic actually. So I had a look again for SB3 hub parts for all this. This doesn't exist, honestly. There's nothing. So if you've got one of these and you wear your brake shoes out, you've got problems. They don't appear to exist anywhere in the world. Let's get these parts from Ultrasonic. There's not much in there, but it's a few bits. Hope you're enjoying this. It's something a bit different again for the channel. I like to keep variety on the channel, as you've probably noticed. If this is your first time here, then check out the library of videos, probably about 100 odd videos by the time you see this. Some great videos on there. Well, they're all great, obviously I made them. But there is actually a lot of really good stuff out there. Channel's going pretty well. Again, it's less than a year old. We're at 14,000 subs now. Going well. If you're enjoying the content and you want to help support the channel memberships are a fantastic way of doing it. But it's exactly the same as Patreon basically, but you just click the button below that says join and that's it, you're done. You don't need to leave the site and look for Patreon, etc. It just supports the channel. You know, a lot of the tests that I do where I'm buying rim tapes, in tubes, a load of comparison tests. I'm paying for all that out of my own money, so it's just to help support bits and pieces like that. It's really, really appreciated and does help the channel develop. I think the guys who are on there at the moment as members, you bought a bike now. You didn't know it, but you bought a bike. So we'll be doing a video on that soon. So it just really does help, honestly. It's massively appreciated. That's come up beautiful, isn't it? Look at that, another mark on there. This is the Raleigh emblem, I think, supposed to be. Right, I need my new cotter pins. If you like these restorations, probably check out the video I did on the 100-year-old Sunbeam bike. That was, well, still my favourite video, honestly. It wasn't so much a restoration, it was getting it running again after it hadn't moved for 60 years. It basically melted, the tyres and the pedals had just melted into a pile of rubber. It was disgusting, but yeah, it was fantastic, honestly. Really enjoyed that one. Even my mum enjoyed that video, so it must be good. Hi Mum. There's a crown race off the fork. I've never seen one like this before. You don't even need a polish, do they? Okay, beautiful. I do want to just give this a bit of a polish. I'm not going to use the polish, I don't think. I'll just use the Brasso wadding. Not bad though. It's only aluminium. Aluminum, sorry. Brasso. Oh, Brasso. Yeah. Brasso is the best, isn't it? Everybody knows that. Apparently you do get it in the States. I asked the question last time and yeah, apparently you do get it. I don't know if you get it in this wadding one. I looked on Amazon US and all I could see was a liquid bottle. This wadding one is fantastic. Tempted to run it through the buffer. Give it a quick go. That's it, I'm running it through here. It's come out beautiful. I'm doing it on the floor because the amount of dust it flicks, it just goes absolutely everywhere. Like that's coming off. Wow. Beautiful. Right, I'm happy with that. Excuse the rain, it's absolutely pissing it down out there. Shut that door. I can't do the back, it's just going to be too snatchy and it's just going to damage it. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I can't resist it now, it's out. Oh yeah. At some point in the near future this will be permanently bench mounted, but I'm waiting for something first and you'll see what one day. So I built up what I can on this. I'm going to polish this as well, sorry. It's a bit better. Right, I'm going to build up what I can on this side, but for the brake I'm waiting for that other bit to do its rust off thing. That goes on here, like so. The thin washer went on there, the sprocket went on there, that way around. That washer went on there. Crazy spring clip goes on here. That's on. A bit better. This just screws in here till it stops like that. That's the gears. Obviously we'll set those later. Tiny bit of tarnishing in here. I just want to final wipe down. These dust caps. The original dust caps. Look at these. Look how fantastic. They look like they might need polishing now. I'm going to get a bit carried away now. Right, I'm going to change this tyre. I bought some new tyre levers, more Pedros. These are 35-year anniversary edition. You get a black and a yellow. So I bought 3 sets. Should keep me going. Well, no rim tape on this. Wow, this is a good fit. Oh, Jesus. Wow. I'll just put this on before it gets broken. Wow, these tyres are a good fit. Oh my God. Oh, not too bad actually. Just push it in the rim. There you go. Let me just clip it to the... Oh no, that's right. Anybody do that? Clip it to the spoke? I know that's what they're designed for, but I honestly can't say I've ever had to do that. There it is, exactly the same tyre, same tread. Just a bit better condition than this. Wow. And the world's heaviest wheel has a new tyre. Wow, it weighs a ton. Put the fancy dust cap back on. So I've still got to work on that brake. I'm leaving it in the rust off solution. overnight, get that corrosion off it, and we can try and clean those shoes up somehow. Right, apart from that, Jesus, apart from that, that's done. So just clean up the front wheel, obviously change the tyre as well. This is in even worse condition there. Clean up all this centrepiece, but I won't bother filming that because it's literally exactly the same. Even harder to clean. Thank you very much, Raleigh. Look at the state of that. Oh my God. Right, I'll do that. The front's not cleaned up quite so well. This paint's in pretty bad condition, but yeah, this is what it is for now. Anyway, set the tyre on. There you go. Just before we continue, I want to take a minute to thank this channel's ongoing sponsor, sportandleisure.com. Sport and Leisure are a UK-based cycling retailer with thousands of parts, tools, clothing and accessories ready to ship. Their listings are clear with proper descriptions and really good photos of the actual items you are buying, which I genuinely appreciate. Some of the other sites I've had to use, oh my God. And here's the best bit. If something's listed as in stock, it really is sitting on the shelf, ready to go. Better still, you can order before 3 PM and it ships the same day. UK shipping is free on all orders, but if you need it next day, it's only £2.50, an absolute bargain. If you're after new wheels, brakes, or even full group set or levers, their prices are pretty much unbeatable. You can still use code BCR10 at checkout on your first order for an extra 10% off the already great prices. So the link's in the description below. Thanks again to sportandleisure.com. Right, I'll clean this up, give it a polish, put the new sticker on it, same as the front one again. So again, I won't bother filming that, it's just a repeat of the other one. There's a bit of a dent in it, but again, there's not much we'll be able to do with that. Without dollies and stuff. That's fine, it's so wrong. There you go, that's a bit straighter. I'll carefully dose WD-40 again. It does a good job, that does, guys. Can go amazing. Goo gone. Goo be gone. Right, that's all off finally. I'm going to give this a wipe down with isopropyl so that the sticker sticks. Something a bit like that. Right, that can't be a million miles out. To be fair, they put it on wonky in the first place. So. Right, calling that one done. Good. Not too shabby either. I'm pretty happy with that one. Stickers in the middle, which was better than it was as well. So that's going to be it for today. I'm running out of time. I'm going to leave those bits soaking in the rust solution. I've got to wait for some new cotter pins, and then I think we can start putting the rest of it back together. Right, so we're going to go back to the frame now. I'm pretty sure this is just oil that will come off with Zep. So we're going to give it all good soaking. Just a nylon brush now, so yeah, it's coming straight off. So I'll just crack on with this because it's about as exciting as watching paint dry. And then come back and we'll have another look at some of these stickers, which I'm a bit nervous about, to be honest. Right, bear with me. Right, I think that's as good as it is getting. The next job is to change these stickers. So what I'm going to do is mask off these edges here so we can get the alignment right along the bottom, peel the old one off and stick a new one on. I mean, these are in pretty shocking condition. This used to be black and this is all just completely chrome now. So they are going to look massively better. I've just got to get them on straight with no bubbles. Oh my God. All right, wish me luck. So I was going to change this one. However, this is the replica sticker. It is actually slightly different if you look at it carefully. It's got curved corners down here compared to this straight one here. Again, here it's got curved corners, radius, and this is just a straight edge here on the original. So it's slightly different, considering it's supposed to be a complete replica. Again, we've got a curve here and a not curve here. Considering the stick is actually in really, really good condition, apart from two tiniest little spots here, I think we're going to leave this one be. Obviously supply this to the customer if they want to change it later. I'm going to leave this one as it is, because this is not an exact replica. Hopefully the rest of them are, because that's slightly disappointing. I'll look at this one on the frame. This one really does need changing, so let's do that one. These bits here are where the chrome is flaked off the sticker, so it's in pretty poor condition. It's lifting off this corner as well, so I'm going to change this one. I'm going to mask off one edge to work to. All right, I'm going to get this off. All right, that's off. There's hardly any residue left on there, so I'm just going to wipe it down now with some isopropyl alcohol. Apologies if I get in the way, but I'll get this right. I'm sure all the professional sign writers out there are shouting at me now, but I'm committed now. I mean, look straight from here. Actually, pretty good. Tiny bubble there. Not bad at all, that. Quite impressed with that. I don't think there's any bubbles in it. No, there's not. It's a lot straight, it's level, it's in the middle. Good, right, passed. So with that one on, I can't really do this one yet because I don't want to clamp over the top of this sticker. So I'll probably have to put some bits back on it, like seat post. Then we can clamp it by the seat post and then do this one later. So let's start chucking some bits back on it. So I had another look at this stand, and there's some videos out there that basically show you putting a spanner on here and pressing it in, and then it pulls out. But I'm not going to lie, I've been there 20-30 minutes trying to do it, and I can't get it to do anything. There is a special Raleigh tool as well that'll do it. It just needs a little prong on the back there, basically, to press this ring in. But I can't do it with the kit I've got. I've got nothing that's going to do that, and it doesn't need to come out anyway. So staying put, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to put the bottom bracket in now. I have cleaned it all inside. It's pretty much spotless. Get some grease in there. Fix got grease, get some bearings in there now. That's the axle going back in now. This is the drive side. Bit more grease on there just to get to the bearings. Knocking them out. Fixed cup again, loaded with fresh grease and fresh bearings. So adjustable cup. Screw it in. Into your lock ring. Nice. Right, let's get these cranks back on now as well. Fresh cotter pins, but I have retained the old Raleigh nuts, which is key to this. Okay, nice. So after a long search on Google, I've deduced this is impossible to find one of these for an SE. I think it is pretty much a one-off. They made 750 of them, unique to that mag wheel. And when you buy these pads here, pretty much everything you see is a complete assembly like this. Well, I can't find one the same as this. However, there's loads and loads of meat left on here. Mechanically, it actually works very well. So we're just going to try and clean these pads up. They actually look like brake shoes again now, so that's good. You can go back into the wheel and get this wheel back in the frame. Right, that's pretty much where that wants to go. I'm going to give this a final hand polish when I finish, don't worry. Yeah, that brake feels like it might do something. Hopefully. Right, what I want to do is get this seat post in because I really want to get it back on the stand properly, because it's difficult to film like this. Probably should have done this before putting the wheel on, but I'm going to put this on and the mudguard, and then I can put the saddle on. I've been cleaning up the hardware best I can, going along mostly with steel wool and the Y wheel and the grinder. And they're not looking too bad actually. That goes on there. Obviously you could get these re-chromed if you want to get really carried away, but unfortunately I don't have access to my PC at the moment, so I'm having to go by memory, and this was 2 weeks ago. So I might end up taking some of this off and putting it back on again. So I'm not going to tighten these up until I'm sure everything goes where it goes. And that's it, it's in the frame down here. And that goes in there. And then there's 2 bolts that hold this to there. Right, these little bolts went through here. I put some grease on them as well. I just don't want to touch everything now because I'm covered in grease. I'm going to drop this on as well. Right, so there's some grease on that bolt as well. Get to the bolt with this little Wira ratchet. It's brilliant for that sort of thing. Okay, let's get some grease down this first. There's a lot of bits here, isn't there? Let's get that sticker on there first. Just giving it some ISO to make sure there's nothing greasy for it to not stick onto. I know it's clean, but let me get one shot at this. Right, pretty straight. And that goes back on here. There's 2 locking nuts. So OTT. And a washer. Right, that goes back onto this seat. I left that screw there, remember, so I don't lose it. I'm just about to wonder where that was. Right, that's that bit. Literally just polishing everything I see. And then this big bolt goes through and holds it to the bars. Clean these up a bit. That's a bit blingier. Right, let's get this back in. That polish is so good for this thing, honestly. Right, I'll finish tightening them when it's on the bike. Pretty much ready to go back in now though. Let's see if these will polish up a little bit. One day soon, this will be bench mounted, don't worry. Coming up beautiful. Before and after. Tell which one it is. This is the shinier one. Nice. Give these a quick wipe down while we're here. I'd be interested in learning some more advanced restoration techniques, really, to be honest, but I don't really know where to look. Obviously YouTube, but anybody's got any great channels, then I'm definitely interested in watching them. Sort of next level from this. I mean, this is real sort of basic restoration stuff, really, but I'd be interested in replating and stuff like that. Looking to expand my horizons a little in that respect. It seems like a good idea to put a bit of grease down here. I'm not sure if it's recommended, but it just feels like it because they don't actually fix to anything, they do move. So now, I'll do 3 things at once. Got to get these in and the seat in. Interesting. Oh, this is too tight. That's evident. Those spaces went on the inside, didn't they? Alright, try again. Those spaces were on the inside of the saddle. Okay, it was a fair few weeks ago since I took it apart, and I don't have access to my footage at the moment to confirm anything. Alright, that's better. It's going to go straight in there now. Get these going first, and then the seat. What a crazy design. And I've still forgotten some bits, haven't I? Forgot these. Alright, 3rd time lucky. That's how she goes. Perfect. Well, I just need to leave this high enough so I can get my work stand clamped around it. Then we can drop it down later, but I do need a bit of post to get a hold of. That should be enough. That's better. Clamped in the stand properly now, so now I can continue working on everything else. I think what I'll do next is get this fork back in. I can get the front wheel back in, assemble the brake, put the chain guard back on, pedals on obviously, have a look at this sticker, and it might start to look a bit like a chopper again. Well, I've just put some bearings in there. I forgot to press record, apologies. That's what I did, put some grease and bearings in the headset. Put this back together now. Still got a lot to do on this. Still got all this shifter to put together and the brakes to reassemble, cables to run, gears to do. There's quite a lot to do still. Polish this as well. Polished everything. Everything that's coming off now is getting run over the polisher because it comes up beautiful. That shouldn't be far off. So I'll finish tightening that later when the wheel's in, because then you can brace the wheel between your legs while you're tightening it, because all that happens at the moment is it just turns a whole lot. So we'll stay like that for now. Yeah, I think we get these bars in out of the way now. Right, get these in. You see a line where it used to be, so that's easy. Right there. Yeah, we can align that when it's on the floor. Okay, right, I think I'm going to have to face this now. I can't put it off any longer. Let's get it masked up and taken off. Just realised this seat clamp bolt is back to front. You should be able to see the red on this side, so I'll spin that around when it's back on the floor. 2 seconds. Some cable stops in the way, so it's too greasy to stick to that. That's ISO on there. We've still got the Dynamo to get going as well. I've got some new bulbs for it. If you've got one of these, I won't wash this with anything apart from water, because it literally takes that black straight off. We are changing it obviously anyway, but just be careful. Jeez, just melts it. It's only isopropyl alcohol. I'd be so tempted to stick this sticker on top of the old one just to make sure it's in the right place, but that's not the right way to do it, is it? So I'm not sure, because it's a reproduction sticker, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same width again, because the other one isn't on the chain guard. Let's get it off. What I don't want is this to come off in 1,000 little pieces. I really don't. Oh, it's coming off. Come off in 2 bits, that's good. Right, I can handle that. No! It just looks like hammerite paint, this does, I'm sure it is. That is going to be about there. Yep. Looking good. Let's have a quick look at that before I commit to it. Okay, we're going on. What's the worst that can happen? Have to buy some new stickers. It's way shorter than that other one there. Way shorter. I'm hoping it's the right width, otherwise it's going to look a bit lopsided. I think I'm going to leave this film on it for now, just to give it some protection while I'm still working on the bike. And peel that off at the last minute. Let's see how terrible a job I've done of it. I suspect this bike will get painted at some point in the next 5 years or so, but not today. Well, I think I'll put the chain on now. This is a new chain original equipment, allegedly. Length pretty much perfect out of the bag, that's good. Right, I'll slacken this back wheel off a little bit, move it forward, then we can put the link in there. And I'm chopping, changing, going forward and backwards a lot, but there's just so much to do, it's kind of it's very different to a normal service. Oh, this one has an old-fashioned quick link here. Not old-fashioned, we still use them in industry, that's for sure, but you don't use them on bikes a great deal. So that link just pushes through those two bits there. There's one plate that goes on the front of it. And your quick link here goes in the direction of travel, so the chain's going around this way. So it'll go on this way. And then we just squeeze that on with a pair of pliers. Like that. Now we just set this chain tension just by moving the wheel back. That's what we got horizontal dropouts for, like that. Make sure your wheel's central. And tighten it up. Pretty good. I'm so tempted. I can guarantee you every single one of these bikes, that's all they were ever lubricated with. But let's not. Use this Weldite, it's nearly empty actually. It's nice lube, this is. Nice. Oh, I think this can go back on now, just get it out of the way. So many bits and it's all over the place. Again, this would have been easy without the wheel in as well, wouldn't it? Oh, 1,000,000% easier. Please go in, please go in. Please go in. No! We've got this nut and a spring washer at the same time to get in there, to get lined up, and then attempt to get this on, line that up and hold these all at the same time. I mean, without the wheel in, it would be probably 5 seconds work. Well, that's literally impossible to get this nut on, so I'm just going to move the wheel again. Not the best bit of design, bits and pieces like that. I don't intend to take that wheel out again. Good. Right, chain guards on. Finally. Pedals, let's get them out of the way. I'm going to attempt to give these a bit of a polish, but I can't take them apart, they're all riveted on. Made in Germany. Pretty cheap metal, so they're not really polishing up. Let's get this fitted in here. Greasy axles, obviously. Okay. Right, I'm going to put some of the shifter back together. I've just thought that cable off camera, sorry, it's just a stupid design, but it's in. Alright, so the spring needs to go into here. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on it, more than a little bit, but we got some grease on there. You put that plate in, put the spring in, ball bearing on the other side, chuck this ball bearing in, watch this ball bearing ping across the workshop. Like that. Right, got it. Got a new pivot for this. Nice. And this spring washer will just go onto the end of that. I'm just going to jump over to the vise and tap this in ever so gently. I just basically rested that across the vise and tap this pin through gently. Alright, so that's working nice. So this piece slides onto here like that. It's got a groove in the back. These two holes go onto here. This one goes through the middle of that, and that goes on there. And then the other spring clip holds it all together. That one goes through there with a new sticker. We've got a new screen here. We've got a new sticker for that. Right, you don't want to know how much they charge for these two bits of sticky tape. I'll give you a wipe here as well, so let's use that as well. Literally anything that says Raleigh Chopper on it is 5 times the price of anything usual. So that'll just basically stick on there. And all this is basically an indicator to tell you what gear you're in through this window here. So when that goes through there now, you'll see what gear you're in. That's the idea of that. Right, so we're pretty much done with that bit for now. Now we need to work on this. So we've got a complete new sticker for this, and we've got a new lens, which to be fair has already fell out anyway. So we've got a new one of them. I'm guessing that just gets super glued in. I don't want to use chemicals on this because it's just going to dissolve it. I know it is. Right, so I've cleaned that up best I can, and these are not available. Basically, they are unobtainium pretty much. You can get some very poor reproductions, what I've seen. For the price of what this piece of plastic is, you have to basically buy in a complete second-hand enclosure. It's like £300 or £400. Ridiculous. So we're going with what we got. It has got a crack in it. I didn't notice that before. There's a small crack down here, and there's a small chunk missing out the corner here. But basically, the price of one of these is more than the customer's paying for this entire service, repair, restoration, whatever you want to call it. So we're not going down that road. Absolutely insane prices. Just cracked all the way across there. You can see it. It looks like it's been glued down here at some point as well over the years, so I'll just be gentle with it. Try and put this sticker on. I've already put this on and it didn't go very well, so I may unfortunately end up buying another one of these, but they're not super expensive, so let's try it anyway. Not too bad actually. Any slightest mark in the plastic, the sticker's so thin it just shows up, so it's a bit frustrating. Right, I mean, it looks better than it did, that's for sure, with a new sticker on it, so I wish this was twice as thick, then it would look quite nice. It's very thin. Right, that's as good as that's getting, unfortunately. I can't say I'm super happy with it, but so I need to basically stick in this lens thing now by the looks of it. It's going to need super gluing in into there, basically. That'll be super glued in there. Like I say, because it's already been glued there once before, I'm not sure how successful this is going to be. Right, I'll get some glue and we'll go for it. I'm doing this off camera because I need to concentrate, sorry. I've gone well at all, that is. I'm not tempted to put the old one back on actually. Probably a better fit. I think actually I might do that and get this shit off. So rubbish. Oh my god. Right, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to use the original because that is just rubbish. It does not fit, does not stick. It doesn't look any better and it's the wrong font. I'm going to clean this up. Right, that's gone in fairly well actually. So we'll clean that up the best we can, because it fits really nicely with no glue. Actually, that's not even coming out with no glue. I'm going to order another one of these stickers because I'm not happy with that, and it's got super glue all over it as well now. So I'm going to peel that off and put a new sticker on it, but I'm going to leave this as it is because this reproduction thing just doesn't fit at all. I get annoyed by rubbish that doesn't do what it's supposed to do, honestly. It's just so frustrating. It's been a long day now. I'm going to put this piece back on the bike now, and then let's clip this on later with one screw that holds it together, basically. Like that. And this basically slides over there. Like that, and that one screw holds it in place there. And that's it, basically. Cool. Right, I'll leave it in a second because that's what we need to set the gears up. I'll just tighten that screw on the bottom. So this is a replacement sticker for here. I just about see some of the old text. So I'm just going to stick that one. Arrow wedge something. Required design, yeah. Right, I'm going to put this front brake together. Front wheel can go back in, and then it's a case of running these cables. Front mudguard. I'm a bit reluctant to say I think we're nearly there then. Right, it's going to get this caliper back together now. Pretty straightforward. I can remember where everything went. I think it was that one. And then that one. Then that one. Then that one. That goes through there like that, holds that together. And then this spring goes in and this screws in. Yeah, that's it. Longest bolt in the world to put this in. I've also just found this. I forgot to put it on the back brake, so the back wheel's got to come out again. Hey. It kind of looks like a brake now. Hook this very strong spring in there. And on this one, like that. And so these are the pads, and these are the very expensive bits of rubber. Yet more reproduction stuff. Right, that's it. That's going on. Right, just give me a minute to get these on in the vise. Right, there's one. There's the other one. Good. They actually fitted better than I thought they would. Right, I'm just going to clean these brake blocks up on the polishing machine. So there's a before and an after on the polishing machine again. Get it back on the bike now with the front mudguard. It goes like that. And that goes through there. Holds it all on. And I've just remembered I've not put the Dynamo front bracket into the headset, so that's got to come out again as well. Flipping heck. Give me an integrated cockpit any day. Flipping heck. Right. It's not going to be a million miles out there. Adjust it later. Does it still work? Yep. Polish my nuts. Right. Shiny nuts now. That goes on there like that. Right. No point tightening them yet, because we've got to adjust it. So that basically just, like I say, that stops the brake flexing forward on the fork. Brake booster, I guess. Right, let's get this wheel in. So then I can set these brake blocks. I just need to go down a bit, chuck a cable on there and see if we've got anything that resembles a brake. Straighten that mudguard up a bit. So the only bits we've got left now is the Dynamo. Like I say, I've got to just refit this into the headset. I'll give it a polish as well because it's pretty manky. This is rear brake bits. That's obviously for the Sturmy Archer gear cable. That's for the 2 brake cables at the front. That's for the bit I've forgotten on the brake. And then I've got some new bulbs with Dynamo, so I'm hoping I can get this to work. But we'll see. I think that's the end of another long day for me. This is bloody taking me forever. This is going to be at least 3 days work to this, and probably another 2 or 3 days to edit it. So I'm going to call it a day for today, and I'll be back tomorrow. Right, so it's the next day, so day 3 for this bike. I'll put that spring back on there that I forgot. So we can reconnect the back brake now. It's a replacement brake cable in the correct ribbed style. I think ribbed would be the terminology. Anyway, let's get this on. Comes with all the correct ferrules, etc. So pretty much a direct replacement. No different to any other brake cable, just hooks in there. Right, now we're going to run this down the frame because there's some cable guides here. From the lever, goes through these cable stops, through there, and then down to the chainstay. Oh, this cable's long. And that will go to the mount that we had down on this chainstay. How long is this cable going to be? It is, however, a bit on the long side, so pull some of that through to a sensible length for this. Probably around about there. And we're going to need to do just trim a little bit at the back. And we need to get this clamp back on here. So this piece sits on the frame here just to support that clamp. I think I'm going to give this a polish first before I put it on because it's not quite as shiny as it should be. All that does is support that clamp there. There's a little dimple there that holds it in place basically. Squeeze that back in there. $1 million question is this brake actually going to do anything? Because it was completely useless before. I mean, drum brakes are pretty poor at the best of times, but it should do a bit of slowing down at least. And it wasn't doing anything at all. This piece slides into the bottom of here. Like that, and the cable goes in there, so I'm just going to have to cut some of this cable off because it's just ridiculously long. So I'll measure that up, trim that, we can connect it back to the brake. I was just checking my picture from when it came in to make sure I wasn't cutting too much off, but that's pretty much how long it was at the bars. So you pull this inner cable through, otherwise you're going to cut that as well. So I'm back on these 2 pre's. I'm trying these out for you guys. I think it's AliExpress, £6 these are. Absolutely crazy price. 40, 50, £60 for a branded set. Perfect cut. To be honest, I'm pretty impressed with them. There's not even a line in this cable. Well, should go through now. Cable end cap. I'm thinking of putting together or doing a video on sort of a home toolkit. It's a bit difficult video to do though because every bike is slightly different. Unless you're kind of working on many bikes and it's a bit easier to put a kit together, but I can't specify like an individual bottom bracket tool and stuff like that, so it might be a bit challenging, but we'll see what we can do. Right, that's in there, looking good. And it's just this pinch bolt here, goes through this bracket, through the cable, and then we see if we can get it to do anything. Well, I've got the full barrel adjuster available here, but I'm going to just put a little bit of preload on there basically before I start, and see if I can get it to operate. Right, so it's actually operating now. It's doing absolutely nothing, so we're going to work on the barrel adjuster now, see if we can get that to actually do something. I'll reset the cable tension in a minute. I just want to see if it's actually going to do anything. Biting. Right. Right, that is going to work, so I'm just going to pull that back through, tighten this back through finally, and then fine tune it on this. It looks like it might do something there. Right, try that. Right, that's feeling promising. Right, that's no barrel adjuster used and it's actually slowing down. Lever travel feels pretty good, so we'll just need a fine tune on this now. And it's actually going to stop, or slow down at least. Stopping's a bit optimistic. You don't want to waste your £50 tyre with skidding, do you? Right, that's going to work nicely. So just trim the cable and then you can use your extra pretentious ones just to put your end cap on there. Back brake done, looking good. Fat boy's on the scene. Belly's nearly grounded. Front brake pretty straightforward really. Obviously just hook the cable in and drop straight down to the caliper. Okay, front brake, go for a test. It's pretty good. Look at that, centered without doing anything, I want to guess. Pretty good cut, look at that. I'm very impressed with these. So I normally use these Japanese Hosan ones. They're very, very expensive, but obviously they're sort of pro level. But to be honest, I've only done, what, 10 cuts with these so far, and they're doing a really good job. How long they're going to last, who knows? But for a home mechanic who uses them 2 or 3 times a year, you ain't going to go wrong with these. So pretentious. EP1, apparently somebody calls them extra pretentious 1. Now I'm going to take another look at this Dynamo. So let's get this fitted. I'm very aware it didn't come with this, but the customer was quite keen to have it refitted, so we're going to refit it and hopefully get it working. I've put 2 new bulbs in it and a very quick bench test. It doesn't work. However, I believe that these need grounding onto the frame. There is a grounding screw. I'll change the angle of that if need be. Can't really tell while it's in the stand, but it's probably not far off. This does clean up quite nicely. Well, cable routing is not super easy on this. It was underneath this when it came in, so I'll point it in that direction again. It's pretty difficult to make Dynamo lighting look good though, unfortunately. Dynamo cables. This is a Subutis, I don't know. Apparently quite a good brand of bottle dynamos. You don't see many of these now. Hub dynamos are totally different kettle of fish and price. This is the grounding screw. As I say, it needs to touch bare metal. It seems a bit brutal. Put this through here. It's literally just a spring clip that holds these in. And that's it basically fitted. I will tidy all this up. Like I say, this is just a test at the moment, see if it's actually going to do anything. So now, this is touching the tyre. So when you pedal that should generate light. That's how a dynamo works. Put a bit more science behind it than that, but... Right, moment of truth. Do we get any light from that? Right, no light from the back one. Right, let's go with the front. Look at that! It's so bright. That one ain't doing anything there. Right, so I've been jiggling around with it for a while, checked a few bits and pieces, and there we go. You might have to turn the brightness down on the screen at the moment, a bit blinding. There you go. Dynamo's working, good. Put the all important cable clip back on, that's the original one. A little bit yellowed, but again, you can't get these, I don't think. And that's on. Right, so looking at the gears, dead easy on these. I am still looking for a new one of these in clear. They just do not seem to exist, unfortunately, but I'll keep looking. So all you need to do on this basically is connect this cable up here, and then there's a little slot down here. I'll show you a picture on the screen. It's going to be easier than trying to get a camera in there. You put it into second, basically, on your lever, and line it up so that slot is flush with the end of the axle. Like I say, I put a picture up because I can't get a camera in there. And that's basically the gear set. That's in second, that's first, second, and then third. Good. Full speed ahead. Third gear, there you go. Second and first. They work. Back to this new shiny back brake. There you go. Right, we are getting somewhere. So just a few finishing touches here. Apologies, I forgot to press record for the volume. So I did actually track down one of these caps, a clear one. Got it second hand, but it's in massively better condition. So just a case of screwing that on and reset the gears. New sticker going on there, peeling the old, very expensive sticker off, putting a new one on there. There's no super glue marks on that one, and that's cleaned up much better now. So just refit that handle, dead easy. And the final reveal for this big sticker, it's been on there about a month before Dad peel it off. It actually came off perfectly. It looked really, really good, so beautiful. Look at that, perfect. Polished the bell, there's a bit of corrosion on there, so that's been soaking on the corrosion stuff. Refitted that, bing bing. And just a final wipe down with the polish on the spoke protector. So I tracked this down, and it's a copy of the original catalogue page, and I framed it up for the customer in a chrome frame to match. So she's finally done. 3 days work I think gone into this, so if you stuck around for the whole film then I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been an awful lot of work and an awful lot of editing as well. So full mechanical restoration on this. Cosmetically, could it do with paint? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. There's two schools of thoughts. Do you keep the original patina or do you go factory fresh? For this one, it's mechanical restoration. Potentially in the future, it might get some paint, but it won't be from myself. I don't do painting. So I hope you did enjoy it. You definitely don't see many of these in the UK, the SE edition. You see a fair few red ones, etc., fairly common, but they do go for strong money. Mark 1 and Mark 2 especially. Mark 3, not so much. But yeah, classic, iconic bike. I know the American guys would say we copied your Schwinn. I think that was the entire purpose of this, is because the Schwinn was so successful, Raleigh decided to copy that and came up with the Chopper. So yeah, you've got a fair point there. I'll give you that one. So I say thank you very, very much for watching. Do appreciate it. If you've not already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. So thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.